Hi guys. I'm gonna let you in on how an autistic meltdown can transpire, because this is what recently happened to me. I wrote it all down because for me, writing things out, being able to see what is in my brain, works a lot better than me trying to talk, because then I melt down even quicker. Because it's emotionally draining, mentally draining, because words are hard for me. Speaking words is hard for me. Being able to put thoughts into verbal communication is hard for me. That's why I always have notes. That's why I always write things out. That's actually one reason that doing this YouTube channel is helpful and therapeutic to me in a few different ways, because it actually helps me be able to put my thoughts into words, be able to practice social skills. This is kind of scary to share, but if we don't talk about these things, how will people understand, right? Okay, here goes. I feel anxiety on the daily because there are so many different things we experience, and with so many of these things dealing with or involving other people, there are too many variables and too many outcomes and too much volatility. So much of anything could happen at any given moment, and so much of nothing could happen too. There's no way to be prepared or ready for any of it. And this is why there's a stigma of autistic people living in a hole, and why we are outcasts. Because we think of all of the things and we feel all of the things, and we have no idea what any of it means, and there's no structure to anything really, because we create the structure. So if something goes wrong or doesn't follow the structure, God forbid, all hell breaks loose inside of us, and there's chaos and tranquility and screams and silence all at once, and meltdown. And if the meltdown doesn't let up, if we can't find a safe space, if we can't get some way to get our minds to not explode, and panic attack. And then once we finally come down from that, we're exhausted for hours or days trying to put our brains and our normalcy back together. That happened pretty quickly, didn't it? It can escalate like that if we don't have the tools to work through what we go through during that, the anxiety, the too many variables, all of the different expectations that go through our heads that we think other people expect of us, what we expect of ourselves, what we expect of our schedules, how things aren't, there's nothing truly solid in time and space. It's a nightmare. Versatility is a good thing to an extent. There has to be a structure, and we have to be able to stick to a structure. If there's too much choice, we freak out. If there's too many options of what could be said back in a response to something, and we're people pleasers. We don't want to make the other person experience any negative feeling or thought pattern or negative energy, anything that could make them feel yucky about us, anything that, because we're empathetic. There are 3 types of empathy. And the one that a lot of autistic people deal with is the fact that we are super empathetic, because we feel what other people feel. We can't say what the feeling is. We can't figure out what the feeling is. But the energy behind feelings, we feel that energy. And because we are wired the way we are wired, we feel that to the extreme. So, when there are heightened emotions, we either melt down, shut down, or disconnect. A lot of autistic people have dissociative disorders because life is too much. We cannot go around feeling all of these feelings, all of these energies, positive and negative, and life is supercharged for us. That's why we have a problem putting words to things. Because when we put a word to something, that word has to fit correctly. If that word doesn't fit correctly, we feel like we just defined something incorrectly. And definitions mean a lot to us, at least for me. I am a very grammar efficient person. So when I have to figure out what to say with all of these insane variables, I blank out. And everything just becomes nothing. Because it's kind of like a firework. When you light the firework, that's the supercharge. And all of the stuff, all of the variables, all of the emotions, all of the expectations come bursting out of the thing. And if we can't put something together in all of that scatterness, we end up becoming that empty shell. Wow, I just came up with a really good analogy. That's a great analogy. And now I'm trying to put my brain my normalcy back together. Because all of those little pieces just exploded and I'm the empty shell. Welcome to the autistic brain.